Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, whatever you do not adjust your screen. This is real. This is not false information that you're looking at right here. Yes, you do see all four of us on this screen, okay? You do see it. Do not break your phone. Do not break your laptop. Do not be them silly Cowboy fans that be breaking the TVs every time the Cowboys lose. Don't be like that. This is real. This is not a test. This is not a drill. This is real. We got a big show. We got a big show tonight. We're gonna cover some stuff. First, let's get it started. Okay. First up, right here, Coach Williams, NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback run this whole thing. You see right here it says number 2 seed. That direction, the quarterback that runs this whole thing, Trish TV, man, what's up?
What's good? What's good?
What's good? Big week. That's right, big week, big week. Let's go. Down below, yes, the music producer and the one who had the idea that came up with this show, Steve White, man, what's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? It's playoff time, baby. Let's go.
Playoff time. Let's go. And then at an angle, Pando 316, man, the defensive mind that runs the show, he says, bring your what?
Your defense and your running game.
Hey, listen.
You can't look. You can't fool around there and have just one. You got to have both. If you're gonna win in the playoffs, you got to pack both. It's like packing a toothbrush and don't pack no toothpaste.
Hey, listen. He told the truth because I know last night was college football stuff, but you saw what Michigan did. They had a defense and a ground game. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. It's gonna be the exact same thing on this professional level. You're gonna need a defense and a ground game. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with Black Monday. And we had 3 firings since yesterday. Arthur Blank woke up Arthur Smith in the middle of the night and says, "Goodbye, you're fired. Your key card no longer works. Turn it in."
Was it the middle of the night?
Middle of the night. Middle of the night. So, because we woke up the next morning, it was like, oh, he's already been fired. That was 7 hours ago. Oh, shoot, we were all asleep. So, yeah, that's why it was the middle of the night. So, who wants to start with this one about Arthur Smith getting fired from the Falcons?
I mean, they've been classic underachievers in an underachieving division. Division itself is an underachieving.
Yes.
You also had potentially two generational talents at prominent positions in this day and age of the NFL and underutilized them criminally.
Well, not just that. It's also the fact that, but you have 3 first-round picks. All of them been underutilized, whether it's Pitts, London, or Bijan. I mean, it doesn't make sense for their numbers to look the way it's been over the years.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm mentioning them two specifically, as in Bijan and Pitts, is because when Pitts was getting drafted, they said he was going to change the way the tight end position was played. Now, this is someone that came after Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gate, Gronk, old boy in Kansas City,
Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez,
Kelce. So you're saying this guy, after all of those guys, even Kellen Winslow Sr., all of those guys. You said this guy was going to change the way the tight end position was played.
Mm-hmm.
When you have someone that has that kind of anticipation coming into the league, you find all ways to get that man the football. Wasn't there a year where he only scored one touchdown? That's unacceptable in today's league.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable in today's league. Then you had Bijan, who everyone was saying was like the next LaDainian Tomlinson. And there was a game where he only touched the ball 12 times in total. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. When you have a young quarterback, you had the two prominent positions for young quarterbacks to use to get comfortable, and you did not have plays orchestrated for him to do that. Him being fired was inevitable. Inevitable.
Well, and you know what, Tristan, you brought up a good point, because those guys, it should have been like a more modernized when Michael Vick had that ground game in Atlanta with Audrey Crumpler. It should have been like when Steve McNair had Frank Wycheck, rest his soul, and Eddie George.
Exactly.
It should have been like when Troy Aikman had Emmitt Smith and Jay Novacek. So but now instead of having a 90s version of it, you should have a more modern version of it with a modernized offense. Plus, you're an offensive-minded coach, so you should be able. So Pitt should have had no less than 8 touchdowns in a single season,
exactly.
seven basement level. Bijan Robinson should have been. I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey level, but he should have been showing signs of it. Like, okay, you know what? He keeps going for another couple of years. He's gonna be right there with the McCaffreys, the Kamars, and stuff like that.
But that's what makes it worse, Brandon. When he had the opportunity, he did, and they didn't give him back the ball.
No, and I know that, but what I'm saying though is, like you said, give these guys the football. Let's create mismatches. Kyle Pitts should have been a mismatch nightmare for everybody. You could have lined him up 3-by-1 as a boundary X receiver. You could have lined him up even on the 3. Okay, Steve, you said no. What's wrong?
I mean, it's a classic case of a bad hire yet again, man. I don't know why we just can't call it what it is. He spent a decade in Tennessee, all over the staff. I don't know how he got the job in the first place in Atlanta. It's not like Tennessee had a booming offense for that decade he was there. They hired a guy that, quite frankly, just didn't do well in a very bad division.
So I think he got.
They were 7th worst. You got an offensive-minded coach, and it was 7th worst in offense and points scored. They were 17th overall in yards. Like, that's a problem when you have an offensive-minded coach and your offense underperforms like that.
With the talent.
Yeah.
And look, I think he got hired because Derrick Henry was having such great games running the ball.
Yeah, but
Tannehill was solid enough at quarterback where I'm telling you what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm not saying it was right, it was wrong or anything. What I'm saying is that's probably the reason why he got hired. Derrick Henry was running through everybody, and Tannehill was solid enough to feed off of Derrick Henry, just beaming through everybody. Boom, boom.
It had nothing to do with either of those players. Tight ends coach, offensive coordinator for one season, assistant tight ends coach, offensive line, quality control, defensive quality. That has nothing to do with the production from Tannehill or Henry, in my opinion. You know, again, I don't know how he got this job, but he got it and he lost it.
Well, he underperformed all this time. And I mean, you know, Eric brought up the stats from this year. Tristan brought up what Kyle Pitts only had 1 touchdown for 1 season. So, you know, that's on Arthur Blank for hiring him. And then also Arthur Blank, you know, there's gonna be a whole different topic one day, but not wanting to bring in Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, did you see his press conference today about that?
Huh?
Did you hear his press conference today about that?
Yeah, it was today or yesterday.
I don't know. No, I feel like it was today. Maybe it was yesterday.
I think it was yesterday. Talking about some. We were fine with Desmond Ridder. I was like, you were fine with Desmond Ridder over Lamar Jackson, a blue chip quarterback.
I said, boy, you might as well just kept, you might as well said I plead the fifth. You might as well just said I plead the fifth. Just spewing that lie like that. You, like, you are kidding me.
And that's what happened. I don't know why Arthur Blank even opened his mouth, and now he's going to find himself a new head coach. And obviously, and well, it should be an offensive minded coach that's really going to sit here and get the most out of these guys. But they also got to find a quarterback because I can't see Ritter starting it in Atlanta anymore.
Well, let me just go ahead and put a boot in his butt on the way out the door before we get to these other two coaches. The way he acted at the end of this game between the Falcons and the Saints, behind, the whole Jameis Winston, I'm going to do what I want to do debacle. Okay, fine. Jameis didn't do what Dennis Allen said. It's at the end of the game, they decided to score again. He comes out there, oh, that's effing BS, da-da-da-da-da. He all in Dennis Allen. Hey, man, this ain't Pop Warner, man. This ain't high school football, bro. This is the NFL. These grown men out here, man. Not to mention, this is a division game. Okay? And to add icing on the cake of all of this the Saints versus the Falcons. And I know I got some Who Dat Nation people watching right now, and they gonna back me up when I say this. The Saints hate the Falcons. Bottom line, yeah, they gonna try to run the score because if the shoe was on the other foot, the Falcons will try to do the same thing. This is the NFL, man. These are grown ass men, man. So, like, if you don't like me running the score up, stop me. Stop me. That's all I'm saying. So that was big feminine energy right there. Yeah, you running up this girl, man, get out of my face, man. You about to get fired anyway, dog.
And Dennis Allen's still the head coach. Even though Saints fans may not want him, he's still the head coach.
Unfortunately, because, again, Saints fans chime in. I know y'all don't want him. Saints fans are hot. I'm talking about they hot as fresh gumbo right now, okay? Because Dennis Allen is still the coach of the Saints. That's somebody else that needs to go. Because we can talk about who got fired, but we can also talk about who need to get fired.
All right, we're moving on to the next one, and this one we're gonna start Trishan off on this one. Next up, the same day, yesterday, the Washington Commanders finally cleaned house. They got rid of everybody, including head coach Ron Rivera. Trishan, talk to us, man. What's up?
It needed to happen. I'm glad it happened. They moved swiftly. They didn't waste any time. I woke up Monday morning and I saw it over my ticker. I was glad. Listen, and I want to be clear about this as a fan. Ron Rivera, the man I have the utmost respect for. I think he brought the organization back to respect around the league, not necessarily the on the field play, but just as its own reputation outside of it. Because of the stuff with Dan Snyder, all the things that he had to do to manage and to overcome those things, I give him credit for. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me try and adjust my mic on this. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. We kind of saw this one. Like Ray Charles saw this one.
Oh yeah.
Like they were just the Commanders were basically giving him the benefit of the doubt and just go ahead and let him finish the season. They did him a favor with that because we were sitting up there doing this the whole season. Like, okay, is this gonna be the week he get fired?
Right.
Is this gonna be the week he get fired? All of us were doing it, and they decided to let him hang around to the end of the season. Then they did him another solid. They didn't fire him on his birthday, which was Sunday. They waited till the next day. Okay, you finished eating your cake? You open all your presents? You didn't blow the little horn? You didn't blow. Okay, you're fired.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's about his dad
Wait, you forgot to ask, did he blow out the candles?
Did he blow out the candles?
There you go.
That's like you know how they say how Craig got fired on Fridays. How you get fired on your day off? Like, how you get fired on your birthday? But they didn't do it. They didn't do it. But we saw that coming. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like, as far back as, I don't know what my notes said, probably as far back as maybe week 9 or 10, we were like, okay, Ron Rivera about to get fired.
And they also did him a favor because they fired, I mean, kind of to a degree, they fired his defensive coordinator and did DB's coach who would have been up next. So they fired both of those guys and say, hey, look, you run the defense the rest of the season. This on you, Slim.
Well, they were cleaning house all season. I mean, they traded away their top 2 defensive ends.
They did.
And this entire season was to set up the next guy. I mean, to be completely honest.
All right, am I sounding better for y'all?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. So I was still listening to everything y'all were saying. So yeah, listen. When you do new ownership and you are not a coach that's having any kind of sustained success, it would have been a disservice for Josh Harris and the ownership group to keep that coaching staff. So like I was saying prior before the technical stuff, what he did to manage the chaos with Dan Snyder and all that stuff that was going on with the organization, for that I give him credit. The decisions when it came to on the field, that's what I critique him on. The draft picks, and not even talking about the first round picks, the second round picks that have done nothing for the past 4 years. Those picks were valuable. So in this situation, new ownership, having the number 2 pick overall, having at minimum $74 million worth of cap space, at minimum going into next season, you have to create your own stamp on your team that you now own, which is what Josh Harris and that group is doing. So I have no issue with it. I have no issue with him being fired. He tried his best. He dealt with a lot of things on the field, off the field. I commend him for it. Still love Riverboat Ron, but like, his time was up, man. You got 4 years to do this. Look at what the Lions are doing. Look what the Texans have just done. Like, no, we're not. This is not a long project. When you have competent people in your front office and competent people on your coaching staff to be able to get the talent, know how to maximize your talent, and be successful in this league. There's no reason. And there were a lot of games where they probably should have won, but because they weren't disciplined enough to win, they lost. So it had to be done. I'm looking forward to it. I want Commanders fans to understand, and I know I don't want to beat on this too hard because I know we got a lot to cover. I want Commanders fans to understand this. This is out of all the years, this is the one offseason you really need to be excited about, because you have a guy in your owner that knows he's not the smartest person in the room and wants to get people around him that are smart, that know what they're doing, i.e. trying to get Adam Peters from the 49ers, trying to get these minds that has seen what building a roster looks like, and they are moving swiftly. Look at all the hires that they did just far for the front office. We didn't even hear about it till after. That would have never happened in Dan Snyder. Something would have leaked somewhere. That would have never happened. Be excited to be in this position that we would have the cap room. We have executives that are literally beating down the door to at least get an interview to see about this man. And we have the number 2 draft pick and then 5 picks in the top 100. This is a golden opportunity for Washington to change their fortunes. So this is the offseason. Out of any offseason I ever talked about or seen, this is the one you got to be excited about the most.
Hey man, I just have one thing to say about that. You need to leave Adam Peters alone.
But
no.
This also, Trisha, you're right. Because if you look at the division, the Giants look like they're gonna keep Daniel Jones, so that's pretty much laughable.
The Eagles are regressing, so the only team to look at is the Cowboys.
Yeah. So and the
they
thing is,
stuck with Daniel Jones. Let's be clear on that. They stuck with Daniel Jones.
They stuck with whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing about it is, like I said, the Eagles are regressing. Remember, they only beat y'all by a combined total of 10 points, and that's when one of those games was overtime. So you make enough for the right moves, you can beat them at least once this coming season. So yeah, no. This is a crucial offseason for Washington. Um, I think Washington. I think what we see in Washington in 2025 is how they move from 2024 will show a whole lot moving forward. Today we had another firing. Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel is gone. Now this one is a little different.
Hell,
It's
he
not so
won
much
his
a
game.
huh.
He won his last game again. He got fired.
That is true. But he can coach, but from what I understand, he and the GM couldn't see eye to eye on how to build his team moving forward. Vrabel wanted to keep trying to win now, but the new general manager who they got from San Francisco, Eric, wanted to start over and rebuild for the future. So
Rand Carthen.
yeah, Rand Carthen, thank you. So the owner went with Rand Carthen, and Rand Carthen gets a chance to bring in his own head coach, as they're going to try to build for the future now. So I don't see guys like DeAndre Hopkins here too much longer. I think Tannehill and Derrick Henry's contracts are up at the same time, as they should both be free agents, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, what do you guys think about it?
I think we knew he was on the hot seat, man. He just didn't win enough. I think it's that simple. He just didn't win enough in his time down there. And eventually, teams need to move on when you don't win enough. So that's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah, this was more of a okay, that's enough type of firing. We got to move another direction. This wasn't, oh my God, you're so incredibly terrible. You got to go after what you did this year. I think it was a culmination of several mediocre to below average seasons. I think that's what it was. And I think the owner was, you got to be bringing a new GM last year, Rand Carthen. Rand Carthen used to win it. He's an exec from San Francisco. So he's like, hey man, this ain't gonna get it. So we're gonna move around.
So
I think it was, like I said, it was a culmination, of just mediocre seasons back to back to back. Now, yeah, they had a playoff run not too long ago, but it was again mediocre to below average. At best, they were above average, but they want more for the franchise. So it's like, okay, we got to go another direction.
And then I think, and then I think also, the culture. I mean, you get all these different QBs coming in here, draft one this year, draft one the next year. It's y'all know how I feel about, disrespect to Mike Vrabel. Y'all know how I feel about defensive-minded head coaches and getting QBs early and getting young QBs in that development piece. That was never there for anybody. So you can't win, with all that going on in the QB room.
So can I say this? Can I say this real quick in regards to this?
Go ahead.
I was a bit shocked about it, but you guys' reasons are valid, because I do remember parts in the season where I was thinking to myself, like, maybe his time has just run out with that team.
Yes.
But can I also say this? Can I also say that the only reason why I find it a bit shocking is, like, what were the groceries that he got when he got that job? And I ain't talking about from this current GM, because I understand that move, but the former GM that he had, he inherited Mariota. Like, he inherited some of that foolishness and still try to maximize it to the best of his ability. I would almost think if he had a competent GM from the beginning of his tenure, what would it look like for him now? Instead of having to deal with everything they dealt with, then you get a new GM last season, and he's looking at the 1 year, and he's like, yeah, okay, like, I want to get my guy, that I want in here. But it's kind of like, man, I wonder if he had the proper groceries. Look what he did with this. Had he had the proper groceries with him, would this have been a little better? you had a same GM that traded AJ Brown away. Like
Listen.
it's kind of like you looking at certain moves.
This what happened. The GM John Robinson was the one who traded AJ Brown. Vrabel did not want to trade AJ Brown for
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Right, and
You had GMs making decisions on a roster that didn't benefit for him to coach. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like
there was someone in the building who he wanted to be GM, but the owner went outside the building and brought in
right. And that's what I'm saying. You're buffering my point. You're buffering my point, Bernie. Like it's like I think him leaving will be good. Like I would want to see him head coach somewhere else because I feel like if you gave him the tools, you look what he did with an average. I would call that an average roster outside of Derrick Henry. Who you really scared of? It's an average roster.
Because when they lost AJ Brown, they lost half of their offense because it was AJ Brown and Derrick Henry,
right?
But
your most competent quarterback in the last few years was Ryan Tannehill.
That year they went to the playoffs and they sacked Joe Burrow 8 or 9 times in that game, but
Tannehill were good, man.
That was their. I felt like that was their max
at their best.
Year.
That's their max.
Yeah,
They
peaked right there.
They peaked right there.
They were really, really good in 20 and 21, man. What changed last season? Was it the GM? Was it what are you gonna do at quarterback? Not sure about Tannehill. It's
a GM. Right. It's a GM and a head coach not be on the same page.
Yep.
If you're gonna be a successful organization at the end of the day, everybody from the top down has to be on the same page. The owner got to be on the same page with the GM. GM got to be on the same page with the head coach. Head coach got to bring in the correct offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator got to bring the correct quarterbacks coach. Quarterbacks coach got to teach that quarterback, and everything has to be aligned. If there's one person not aligned, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you may make it to the playoffs. Yeah, you may make it to the conference championship game. And that may only be a one-time thing, but you're not going to be going to the Super Bowl often or at all, and you're definitely not going to win it. Everybody has to be aligned.
This revolving door.
Go ahead.
This revolving door of quarterbacks is an issue. Like, we didn't draft a quarterback this year. Okay, we come back next year. We're going to draft another quarterback. That's
another thing, too.
You collecting quarterbacks like, you stamps and coins or something. And it's like you have to hammer down a decision about who's going to be your quarterback. And this musical chairs revolving door thing of quarterbacks was definitely a problem.
And I just thought about that. The GM now, you have to convince a head coach to like Will Levis. You have to,
or maybe go back to Malik Willis.
I think that bridge is burnt.
And it might be. But what I'm saying is, you drafted Malik Willis in the 5th round, like Eric said, and then you draft Will Levis this past year in the 2nd round.
They're looking at Will Levis as the possible future. I can tell you that for right now. And you need to convince a head coach that those are your 2 options because you're not going to look for another quarterback right now. So you have to convince a coach to like you said, Brandon, to either like Will Levis or Malik Willis. That's your options as quarterback.
Yeah, because actually they're not even in the best. They're not even in prime position to really draft one of these top quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. They can't.
If a quarterback slide, it might be scraps.
It will be scraps. If their possibility of drafting, they're not getting the top 4. They're not getting them. And when the top 4, I say Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix. Not seeing them. You may want to fool around and get JJ McCarthy. You go fool around, maybe Quentin Ewers. I don't even think he declared for the draft still.
I'm not sure if he's declared yet.
I think he wants to go back to Texas. Or the dude Cam Ward, who I still think should go back to school, but he declared for the draft. And you're going to take a wild card again, like you did Malik Willis, if you take Cam Ward. Awesome physical talent, but you don't know, ain't enough tape to really know what he's going to be. So they're in a tough to let Mike Vrabel go. I feel like was not a wise decision by the organization. I feel like it was wise for Mike Vrabel to go because I think he's going to be a top sought after coach.
Yes, definitely.
But for the Titans organization, that's going to be a hard sell. It's going to be a hard sell
I mean,
because Derrick Henry's going into free agency, and the way that Derrick Henry talked in his post game, he ain't looking to come back to Tennessee. So
yeah, and then you still are dealing with is some people may be skeptical looking at it saying, is this Mike Vrabel a good head coach? He may need to take a second and go be somebody's defensive coordinator for a year or two.
I don't know about that.
That might be the move.
I don't know about that because I can't look at him. I can't look at what happened these last couple of years and say Mike Vrabel's a bad coach. I just think the groceries got stale.
I also think, but Eric, here's another thing, and I just finished saying it. He wanted somebody else to be the GM when Robinson was fired in the middle of last season, 2022. They didn't give him what he wanted. It didn't work out because he and the GM did not see eye to eye. He needs to go somewhere where he and the GM sees eye to eye, and let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that looks like.
That's fair.
Whether he goes to New England, like some people are speculating, or if he goes to, I don't know, Atlanta or the Chargers. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I've heard rumors about New England.
I think everybody's heard rumors about New England. It's just a matter of what's up with Bill Belichick in New England, but we don't know yet until we actually see the.
He's definitely eyeballing it if they part ways.
I would think he would be. And then, question is, where will Belichick end up? But so we'll see what happens in New England. I know everybody got their eyes on it, and I have a feeling we might find out something either tomorrow or at some point this week.
Yeah, because they met today or yesterday, didn't they?
They met yesterday, I believe, but I think they said there's going to meet one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a chance that if Belichick comes back, that they would consider bringing back Josh McDaniels as his OC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard that too.
Well, we know that happens every time. Every time a Belichick,
it's the only job he can sustain.
Anytime a Belichickian assistant coach gets fired from being a head coach,
they go back to daddy.
It's like the prodigal son in the
Bible. I was going to say the same thing.
They go back to daddy.
Come on back. Come on back. Yeah, it didn't work for you. Come on.
Come on back, man. Hey, man. I welcome you with open arms, man. Come on.
That's hilarious.
We call it the Belichickian buyback. That's what we call it.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's talk about
some of these playoff games, man. Hey,
6 games.
Listen, Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central on NBC Football. The Cleveland Browns, led by head coach Kevin Stefanski and quarterback Joe Flacco. What? Who? Joe Flacco? He was in Baltimore a long time ago going to the Super Bowl. Now
playoff Joe.
Now he's in Cleveland, back in the playoffs. What? And they play against this up-and-coming Houston Texans franchise, man. That's just won the division like a complete 180.
So let me hit this first. Okay, so first of all, everybody's talking about Kevin Stefanski being coach of the year. I call poppycock on that.
DeMeco Ryans.
How can you not give DeMeco Ryans coach of the year and CJ Stroud offensive rookie of the year? First of all, the Houston Texans were 3-13-1 last year.
Yep.
They hired DeMeco Ryans. Then they go out and then they draft CJ Stroud. And in 1 year's time, they're division champions. Division champions. What up, LB? They are division champions in 1 year's time. Like who does that? Like, you're going to be hard pressed. I challenge you to find somebody who's been able to do that. Now, I'm not saying nobody has, but it's a rarity. So you got DeMeco Ryans, who's coming first-year head coach. Bobby Slowick, first-year offensive coordinator. CJ Stroud, rookie quarterback. You win 10-plus games, and you win your division, and you hosting a playoff game that, and I said it before, basically, here's the thing. if Houston gets torn out the frame at home in this playoff game, it doesn't matter. That season is still a success. Period. You can't debate about this. You can't say, well, you know what? No, shut up. No, you go from 3-13-1 to division champion and hosting a playoff game. They playing with house money at this point. And there's another team on this list that's playing with house money. We'll get to them later. But that's a team that's playing with house money. They ain't got nothing to lose, which kind of makes them dangerous. It kind of makes them dangerous because they ain't got nothing to lose. They can let it all hang out. So, yeah, this game is going to be interesting to watch because
It is.
there's nothing more dangerous than they got the Rocky Balboa syndrome right now when he fought Apollo Creed in the first fight. It's like, I ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go. I'm already a success because I'm here. Me being here is a success.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah. It's going to be a great game.
I want Flacco back at M&T Bank Stadium so badly. So bad.
Oh man, yo, and Tristan, I hear you, man. But man, this is going to be a good game. I don't know who I have winning because both teams are just very good. The quarterbacks are good. The ground game is strong enough. The receivers been good. I don't know, man. I feel like I don't know if I had to choose, maybe Cleveland by 2.
Okay, so just the FYI, the line is Cleveland 2.5.
That's crazy.
2.5.
That's
That's
crazy.
the line.
That's crazy.
Okay. All right, so you're going with
And
Cleveland.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't. So
Yeah.
let me say that. But if I had to choose, and I think it's because Flacco just has more playoff. I mean, of course, CJ Stroud's a rookie, but this game is not too big for him, and that defense is still going to give Stroud some fits. Not
That
saying
whole Cleveland team has more experience than that Texans team.
right, exactly. So
yeah.
So okay. So let me explain something to our crowd at home. During the playoffs, Pando's picks are done. Pando's picks are over. After week 18, Pando's picks over. So now we are all four of us, picking these playoff games. So Brandon's already made his pick. He's already
I got Cleveland by
the
2.
Browns are going to win. Okay, and why? And Tristan, who is your pick? And why?
Yeah, I got Cleveland by 3, and I just think the experience, not only with Joe Flacco at the helm, but I think the experience with having Amari Cooper. I know he got banged up a little bit towards the end of the season, but him still being there, that offensive line is solid. That defense, they fly around the ball.
Yes.
I just think the experience of those guys, they got a lot of veterans on that team. Will trump the young upcoming Texans squad, but it's gonna make for a game. Like,
Oh, it really is. It really is.
Game, but I just feel like the experience is going to take over, and it normally does in the playoffs. So,
Steve.
Yeah, if I had to pick a team, I mean, I would love to see Houston win, but I just think Cleveland just had more experienced players all over the board, and I just think that's going to come into play for this game. I'm gonna pick Cleveland.
Okay, so again, it's dangerous to have a team full of youngsters that don't even know they're supposed to be there.
Agreed.
Now, Houston is at home. That's another thing. The Bulls on parade. That's the Houston crowd. They ain't nothing to play with in that stadium. I've been in there, and like traffic just gonna be hell just getting around 610 come Saturday. I'm just telling you that right now. You need to find an alternate route because they finna be up in there. Conventional wisdom tells me to pick the Cleveland Browns to win this game because of playoff experience and because they just doggone good. Okay, they have handed losses to some of the best teams in the league this year. Some of the teams that top of everybody's power rankings, they gave them hell. So I like Cleveland to win, like Brandon said, by a really close margin. Houston is gonna go in there and give Cleveland fits, and I feel like Cleveland's gonna be beat up after this. They gonna know they've been in a fight.
Yeah.
Like Apollo Creed won that decision and Rocky won, but he had broken ribs. He couldn't see out of one eye. I think it's going to be something along those lines.
I don't know. And I look at their opponents. Look who beat who. Houston didn't really beat anybody good. And Christmas Eve, the Browns beat Houston in Houston by 14.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We going by the logic: if a team beat a team, they gonna beat them again.
I'm saying the battle test. They've beaten better teams than Houston has, and they already beat this matchup. So,
hey man, Houston battle tested every week just because of who they were the year before. You got to.
I'm talking beating good teams.
I
agree. I'm talking beating. I hear you. I understand.
Every game was a battle for Houston.
I understand their progress completely. I'm saying they hadn't beat any good teams this season. That's where I'm going with it. But they've already overachieved. I'm saying that too. But I just don't see them.
They are the epitome of over. If you got a picture that says over, a caption that says overachieving, Houston like this. I mean,
absolutely.
Like you got to
but they still not going to win.
When I tell you that all of these games, that Vegas has picked some of these games, all of them could go the other way this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So, like, what I'm saying is, and you're gonna find the trend as we go through these games. Ain't nothing a lock. None of these games are a lock.
Okay, so who do you have winning? And by how many?
I have the Browns winning. Like I said, I'm going with logic.
By how many points?
Right.
I said by your line, somewhere between a 1 to 3 point game. I think it's gonna be a close one.
Okay.
It's going to be.
I don't think anybody gonna run away.
I think it's gonna be close too. Honestly, I think it's gonna be close, but I just think the playoff experience is just gonna uplift Cleveland. All right, 8:00 Eastern, 7:00 Central on Peacock. The Miami Dolphins travel to Kansas City Chiefs. Now,
first of all, let me say this before we get into this. NFL, do better. Do better, NFL. Why are we going to Peacock?
You know what? I was going to say the thing, but you know, I'm the one that's always complaining about stuff. So I'm glad you said it.
I got you, Eric. I got you.
Hey, Trisha, listen.
I was about to raise some hell about that damn Peacock stuff too.
Hey, look, I'm on the same page with both of y'all because this thing should have been on regular TV.
It's a playoff game.
Thank you.
If you want to flirt around with doing other streaming services, do that during the regular season. Don't do that for playoff season when you know everybody is locked.
When Carolina play New England, put that on Peacock.
Exactly.
Listen, man, NFL been tripping with these broad. I'm glad it's not on Disney Plus again in Andy's Toy Story bedroom. All right.
Yeah, right. You're right.
They've been acting up this year with these broadcasts, man.
No, they really have. They really have, man. They doing too much.
Yeah, but let's talk about the game. Go ahead. I just wanted to get that.
So, the Miami Dolphins, outside of the Dallas Cowboys, have not beaten a team with a winning record. However, Kansas City won the division, but man, their wide receivers can't catch the football. Their hands got WD-40 on it, and Kadarius Toney. I'm gonna say this over and over again until he stops doing it. Keeps lining up at cornerback. Now,
you said them along with who didn't beat a team from winning record?
No, he said the
outside of Dallas, they have not beaten a team with a winning record.
Oh, okay. I
That's the only team with a winning record they beat.
So, Kansas City defense is good. Okay, they've been good, but I don't know how much longer the defense can keep carrying them if the receivers keep lining up at corner and dropping passes. So this could be a game that Miami might win, but it could be it's another close one. Now, Kansas City has the playoff experience, just like Cleveland does, and they're at home. But I don't know how in the world I can choose Kansas City when they don't catch the football. I might have to choose Miami by 2 on this one.
Miami just signed 2 veteran rushers, and though they're
yes, they did. Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin.
they don't need to neutralize Patrick Mahomes. They just got to bother him enough to force him to throw to the wide receivers, knowing that they're going to drop the ball.
And make sure and just double Kelsey, and
That's it.
if there's anybody I trust to make sure they double Kelsey correctly, it's Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is going to get the job done and make sure. So I might have to move the spread up.
And they ain't got no answer for Tyreek Hill.
They don't.
Okay, so
They
the
don't.
spread. So the spread on this game is 3.5 in favor of the Chiefs because they're the home team. But you're gonna get 3 because you at home anyway.
I got Miami winning, and I might move my number from 2 to maybe 5.
I'll say 2, but I'll go with Miami. But I'm gonna say 2.
Okay.
So for this game, from what I'm understanding, the wind chill is supposed to be -7.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that
Oh,
winter
I know
storm
that.
is coming through this weekend all over the United States. Okay.
Mhm.
No, I think Chiefs gonna win that game. I ain't know
Yeah,
that.
never mind.
So again, here we go. You gotta what does my caption say right here?
Miami got a run game though.
Yeah, they do have a run game.
Miami got a run game.
Okay,
And their
so let
defense is-
me break that down as well. Miami does have a run game and is very good. They're an outside, they're not as physical. They run outside zone like the 49ers, but they're not as physical. Okay. Kansas City comes downhill with Pacheco. Pacheco run like he's trying to kill roaches.
Yeah, he run like an angry toddler.
Yeah. Okay. Then you talk about defenses. At this point, Kansas City has a better defense.
That is true.
And they're at home
That's
Mhm.
true.
in cold weather where they're used to playing. Miami, Sunshine State.
Got that. Nah, Chiefs got that.
That's true.
Okay.
Eric,
So
Eric, you changing my
and
mind, man.
despite the receivers dropping everything like a doggone bad habit, they're gonna find a way to win this game. It's gonna be ugly, but they're gonna find a way to win this game. Kansas City by 1 score. I'll say 1 score. Could be a field goal, could be a touchdown. Kansas City by 1 score.
Okay, I got Kansas City by 1 point.
Okay.
I changed my mind. This is my final decision. Kansas City by 1 point. Eric,
I
you
got-
changed my mind.
Okay, I got Kansas City by, I'll say 1 score. Weather aside, I can't put my money against Andy Reid and Chiefs in the playoffs. We understand the struggles with dropping passes and this is that and that, but
I didn't know it was gonna be that cold.
Exactly. I didn't know that either.
I couldn't bet against Andy Reid at home in the playoff. I just can't. He knows how to prepare. Their experience, the coaches are experienced. I got Kansas City winning that game.
But players got to execute, man. Players got to execute.
That is true too.
They've known to do it.
Dropping pass.
They've known to do it when it matters.
Known to do what when it matters because they had opportunity. They had hold on, Steve. Wait. They had opportunity against Philadelphia, and all you saw was
drop passes. I thought Patrick Mahomes was going to cry.
Listen,
and
there have been so many skits and memes on social media behind those drop passes.
Listen,
and also wait a minute, Steve. One more, and I said it. There was one game where Kadarius Toney lined up at cornerback. You can't do that in the playoffs.
Well, we all know that, but I mean, this particular argument is mute because we all picked the Chiefs anyway, so that doesn't even matter. But aside from the weather, it's like going against Andy Reid in the playoffs is just, I don't know. I couldn't do it.
I'm saying the weather and Pacheco is going to be the reason the Chiefs win this game.
Yep, and their defense. It's going to be just enough.
That's how they win. That's how they win. That's how they win. That's how they win.
Yeah, so back your defense.
But depending on who they play next round, they out.
We're on this round still.
Let's focus on this round. We'll talk about it next Tuesday. What's going to happen next round? Okay. All right. So moving forward, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Buffalo Bills, and this is the biggest line of this round of the playoffs. The Bills are a 10-point favorite. TJ Watt probably will not play.
He's already out. He's already out.
Because they was like, TJ Watt is going to miss 2 weeks. I'm like, they not going to make it past 2 weeks without TJ Watt.
Out. He's already out. They already announced it today. So it's not much to say, in my opinion. I got Buffalo winning by, I'm gonna go conservative. I'm gonna say Buffalo by 5.
Buffalo, I got Buffalo by 1 score. And let me tell you something. If for some reason Buffalo loses this game, everybody that's watching, just tune in next week. If Buffalo loses this game, tune in next week because I'm going to ether Josh Allen. I promise you.
Hell, he damn near gave the game away in week 18.
Exactly.
Like
To win.
it wasn't no clear-cut victory. It was
No,
like
it was not.
the fact that Buffalo now runs the ball like they actually have a purpose is the reason why they won that game. Because if they had just relied on Josh Allen like they did in the past, Miami would have won that game in week 18 last week.
Man, look.
Because Josh Allen did some really questionable stuff.
Listen,
All y'all that are
I
watching,
never believed in Josh Allen. That was me. A lot of
if
people,
Josh Allen
on
loses
national
this
media fell in love with Josh Allen. I never fell in love with Josh Allen. I said, give him a minute, give him time, give him time.
If Buffalo loses this game, y'all tune in next week.
All right, Steve, who you got winning?
Got Buffalo.
By
It's a better team. And this is a game that they are expected to win. Josh Allen is expected to win this game.
yes.
I agreed. The Steelers are they're real, and the fact that they just managed to get in the tournament is like, okay, that's like you've been failing all semester, and you take like a final exam and you get a C in the class, and you're just like, okay, all right, whew. That's basically. I think literally the Steelers are begging to be put out of their misery at this point. Okay. You're right. They have way too many problems.
And I think it starts with the quarterback position.
You're not finna convince me that Mason Rudolph is gonna go into Buffalo and pull an upset. Okay. And if he does, tune in next week because me and Tristan gonna go off. But
I'm telling you.
So
all right.
Buffalo has injury issues and so on. So Rasul Douglas, we don't know what his situation is. And he's been like amazing since they signed him. But yeah, I just don't see Buffalo. I got Buffalo winning because of the Josh Allen factor. And I mean, what I mean by that is his uncanny ability to turn the ball over in crucial moments. Because of the Josh Allen factor, I got the Bills winning by 1 score as well, even though the line says 10.
Okay. All right. Next game. By the way, all 3 of those AFC games will be finished back to back to back. So then it'll be all NFC games. The Green Bay Packers, young team, travels to the Dallas Cowboys, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central on Fox.
The line is 7.5 for the Cowboys.
That's fair. That's fair. And I have the Cowboys winning specifically because of what Brandon said. Young Green Bay Packers team.
Yeah,
Cowboys they've been in here before. They know what's at stake. I think Dak, even though he says the things that he's always said, but it just seems he a little more edgier this season. It's just a little more tick up. And I'm like, okay, that might be what get them to push. So I have Dallas winning with that 7.5.
I got Dallas winning by 5.
I got
Green Bay's just too young, and look, Green Bay. This is a good game. This is a game for Tony Pollard to be able to run the ball because Green Bay gives up 127 yards per game. So Tony can get some yards in this game.
I got Dallas by 10 plus. I just think, aside from Green Bay being young, I mean, Cowboys have lost a home game in 15 straight home games. Dak has played almost perfect at home. And to be honest, the only team better than Dallas in the NFC is the 49ers, if we're being completely honest. So that's my logic with picking Dallas by that much.
Okay.
I have the Dallas Cowboys winning this game, but not by 10 plus. I have them hitting the line. This is the Green Bay Packers. This is another team, just kind of like the Texans, who are young, and they don't even know they're supposed to be there. Honestly, they're like, "What the? We here for real? We get to play. We get to be on TV in January." That's literally what they've won 10 of their last 7, and nobody saw it coming. These young receivers are
Give me 7 of
incredible.
the last 10.
7 of the last 10, excuse me, I said that backwards. These young receivers are incredible, and the crazy thing is they haven't gotten even close to peaking yet. Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Reed, there's another kid I'm leaving out, but Jordan Love is hitting his stride, and Green Bay has the ability to run the ball.
Aaron Jones, yep.
So again, here's the problem though. You got to pack your defense and your running game. Green Bay's defense isn't that great. They got the running game, they got the defense.
Now,
So this is why I feel like the Cowboys are going to win on top of them. They're undefeated at home, but there have been a couple of games against good opponents where Dallas just barely squeaked by, and then other times they were playing tomato cans and, they blew them out. But I have Dallas winning this game by I have them hitting the spread and winning this game because I feel like Green Bay can light it up. You still got Stephon Gilmore dealing with that shoulder injury. Deron Bland is starting to show that he really can't play man and shouldn't be playing man because he's been exposed a couple of times in man coverage. They can take advantage of that. So are they going to win? Nah, I doubt it. But I will say this. If they were to pull off of this upset, it wouldn't shock me if there was an upset. I wouldn't be like, oh, my goodness, it wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest, with all of these games, if any of these went the other way from how we picked them, it would not shock me. None of these are shockers.
Real quick, you said they can run the ball, and that is true. Jonathan Hankins is healthy now, so that run game might be neutralized. So this game is pretty much going to be in Jordan Love's hands. And if this game really gets into his hands, that pass rush is going to get after him, get him off his spot, and we could see maybe an interception or two from Dallas. Gilmore's shoulder's fine. It just popped out, popped back in. It looked like he's ready to go. Dallas also get both of their guards back, and Tyler Smith and Zach Martin. So that's gonna be crucial. So I think I said Dallas by 5. Next game. Sunday Night Football. The LA Rams with Matthew Stafford returns to Detroit, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC, 7 p.m. Central.
Rams have low-key been hot.
They have. The Lions are missing some players because I don't think Laporta's gonna play. St. Brown, Sun God. He'll probably play, but he's not 100% healthy with bad ribs. They get Garner Johnson back, but they lost Branch probably. So
this game's a toss-up for me.
Outside of Stafford and Darnold and Cooper Kupp, they have young players on the team who is like Green Bay, Houston. Hey, I'm glad to be in the playoffs, because Puka Nacua, Karen Williams, the running back, and then the defensive tackle with 9 sacks. That's a up and coming young nucleus, man. That's an up and coming young nucleus. The Rams could possibly, and I think I trust Stafford a little bit more than Goff, so I might go with the Rams by 2.
So the line on this game is 3.5 in favor of the Lions.
Okay,
that's basically the home line.
Yeah,
and again, and it's the reason why I put this caption out here. You have to pack your defense in your running game. Neither one of these teams have good defense. Neither one. Both of them have good running games.
Now Detroit can't stop the run, though. I will say that.
That's a good point, Eric. That's a good point.
Okay, but and then you have what you said, Brandon, is that Detroit does have the ability to stop the run. They can stifle the run.
Yes.
So and then don't leave it past Matt Stafford to get a ball away. He will give the ball away if it gets into
Golf can too now. Golf can too.
Golf can too. This is true. but Matt Stafford has more of a how you say a reputation for it. Even in the games that they've won.
Hold on. Now, just because Goff hasn't really done it that much in Detroit, if you put that ball in his pause, if you put that football in his
Brandon, we
hand,
talking about this year.
I understand that. If you put the football in his hands, more so than not, Goff will turn the ball over. No one has really done it. Now, I'm telling you what I'm telling you what's
and
going
that's
on.
fine. What
No
you're saying is fine, but what I'm trying to
happen this year. So what I'm telling you is, what you're telling me about Stafford is almost neutralized by Goff.
Okay, so are you through now? Are you
Go
through
ahead.
cutting me off? Because I'm about to blow that up. Okay. If they're running the ball, Detroit is, you taking the ball out of Goff's hands, and the Rams do not defend the run well.
Okay, well,
that's my point. That's my point.
I
now,
think...
that being said, the Rams right now is probably the dark horse scary team in the NFC.
Facts.
Okay. They are better than they probably are a better team than they were. And watch this, I'm gonna go out on a limb, than they were the year that they snuck into the Super Bowl. Okay. They are a better team.
Wow.
Just from the fireworks, the firepower that they had. They didn't have a legitimate running game that year that they won the Super Bowl. And then you didn't have a clear-cut number 2 receiver that could do what Puka Nacua does. I challenge anybody to go against that, because you're not going to be able to. You have Cooper Kupp now. Now you have a clear-cut number 2 that can really go out there and do what Puka Nacua is able to do.
And the number 3 is not bad.
And then you throw in at Tutu Atwell. Yeah. So they're dangerous. They're a dangerous team. Now, that being said, it's a tough one to call because of all the injuries that are going on with Detroit. If Detroit was healthy, Detroit wins this and they hit the spread easy at home. Another X factor that you have to look at is the over-emotional decision-making by the head coach, Dan Campbell. He makes.
That's where I'm going. My decision.
When the rubber meets the road, he has opportunities to do the conventional thing and possibly come away with a win. See the game 2 weeks ago against Dallas. And he doesn't, because he feels like he's got to put his testicular fortitude on the table. I'm gonna use it. He feel like he need to put his what are these, Brandon? He got to put these on the table every time, and he doesn't have to. And he gets caught up in things like that. Hell, the reason why a lot of his players are injured right now is because of decisions that he makes. And that's the X factor in this game. I don't even know who to call for this game. If you had to put a gun to my head and say, pick somebody to win this Rams-Lions game, gun to my head, I'm going to say Detroit because they're at home. But the Rams could easily walk away with this game because of Dan Campbell's. Like me and Steve was talking about it all offline. There's passion and then there's emotion when you play, when you coaching. And like Dan Campbell has lost the Lions some games just because of his emotional emotional instability. And you can't do that when you a field general. Yep. You got to make some tough choices and go against your heart and go with your head. And that's the issue I have with Dan Campbell. Now, part of it is good because he got guys fired up. Yeah, let's go, coach. Yeah. But when the rubber meets the road, ain't no telling how that game could have turned out if they'd have kicked and went into overtime against Dallas and went into overtime. There's no telling how that game could have gone. They could have been the 2 seed. Who knows what could have happened in that overtime? But you went for it 3 times for a 2-point conversion against Dallas. Like, no.
And he said he doesn't regret that. He does not regret those decisions.
And that's the next thing. Thank you, Steve. He don't regret it. It's like, bruh, come on, man. So if he gets that under wraps and he gets that wire together and tied down.
He's not for this game.
Yeah.
It's too big of a stage.
Yeah. This is the first time they've had a home playoff game in how many years, Brandon? You know this. You're the encyclopedia.
Man, This the first. Well, shoot.
It's going
First
to
of
be a
all,
lot of emotions.
this their first time winning the actual NFC North division title ever. The first time winning the division title since the 90s.
Yeah, Barry Sanders era.
Yeah, Barry Sanders era. Wow, that's a long time ago.
There you go. So you talking about 30-some plus years. This is the first time in that particular stadium, Ford Field, that they've ever had a playoff game.
Yeah, because they used to be at Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of emotions involved. So that's the X factor right there. And I'm sorry to take your thunder, Steve, because I know you're gonna talk about that. But that's the issue for me. It's not the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
The running games wasn't what. On paper, the Lions should win this game, but Dan Campbell's an X factor.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Steve.
it's gonna come down to, again, who makes the more emotional decisions. Who goes for on 4th and short when they shouldn't, and bad field position. Who's gonna go for the fake punts? Who's gonna put the most tricks when they shouldn't have to pull out tricks in certain situations? And that's what it's gonna be. And
that's Dan Campbell.
And that's gonna be Dan Campbell. I really feel like, I mean, like you said, Eric, he wants to show the other coach, stick to the other coach, show the other coach, that he's bigger and better than him. I think it could cost them. I see a couple comments here.
Also, you know what? Let me say something real quick, Steve. Sorry. Sean McVay's been to a Super Bowl twice.
Yeah.
This game's not too big for him. So he knows how to get this team. Like, I know there's still a couple veterans on the team, like I said, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, and Stafford. But those young guys, he knows how to get them ready for a playoff game like this. And those 3 players I just named can help him out along the way.
Can we bring a comment forward down here, Keenan Scholes?
Which one?
The Stephen A. Smith with the Cowboy. Can you bring that forward real quick? My boy Keenan, yeah. So Keenan's one of the other guys who used to be a Cowboys fan, but then they switched. So he's one of those guys. But I don't think it's gonna happen this weekend, Keenan. I don't think Stephen is gonna have that hat on this weekend.
No, as a matter of fact, I believe Stephen A. picked the Cowboys to win this game. But we're on the same page with. I don't think Green Bay's a pushover. I don't think they're gonna be the pushover people think they're gonna be. So we'll see. A lot of these, especially these last 2 games, because we're gonna get to our last game. The last 2 games are clear toss-ups. You could flip a coin.
Yeah, pretty much.
You really could. Because this Philadelphia Tampa Bay game on Monday Night Football. I don't know why they put that on Monday Night Football.
I don't know. They've been messing up all year, though. I mean, that's the trend. They just gonna stay with it.
You're gonna put Philadelphia and Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football at 8:00 on ESPN.
Right.
I mean,
I'm sorry. The Browns and the Texans have more panache than this game.
I'd rather watch Buffalo and Pittsburgh than this game on Monday Night Football. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
you want to watch a competitive game on Monday night.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm gonna be honest. The winner of this game between the Eagles and the Bucks is going to be the person who doesn't watch it and turns on their PlayStation.
I mean, now
it's accurate.
Obviously, I have to choose who's going to win and by how many points.
I ain't even watching it. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Hey, Trisha, I might not watch it either, man. For real. I mean,
okay. So here's the thing. I'm gonna take one for the team, and I'll watch it because I want to be able to come back on here next week and explain why whoever wins this game is going to lose the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already know because
that's fair.
Because Philadelphia is falling apart faster than fast. Okay.
Now watch this. Wait. I'm glad you said that, Brandon.
Hold on. I'm not finished. But just like I think you might say with Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's on that Baker Mayfield cycle. He was up there, and now he keeps going around. He's going down. And last week, he was struggling to beat Carolina, beat them 9-0. And I was like,
3 field goals.
I was like, oh my goodness. So as much as I may want to say Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay's going to win, Philadelphia might end up winning because of Baker Mayfield. Now,
speaking of Carolina, hey, Brian Burns, just come down here. We get you carry out some mumbo sauce, big dog.
He said,
Come on down. Come on down.
"Hey, hold on,
They-
Trisha,
You ain't
Yeah,
got
but
coach
they-
yet.
Trisha,
You ain't got
Trisha,
coach
you
yet.
said it right.
So
Wings, fries, and mumble sauce, baby."
So this the point I was finna make is like you said, talking about the Eagles, they are a 3-point road favorite.
Really?
Of course. That's not surprising. That's
Well,
not
they're
surprising.
the better team.
They're the better
Okay,
team.
they're struggling,
do
but
have
they're
the
the
better
better
roster,
team.
Absolutely. They just played in the Super Bowl last year. Of course.
Listen, they're not like they're still a form.
Versus Tampa Bay.
Let's be real.
Versus Tampa Bay,
Exactly.
yes.
I guess you might be
I'm
right.
not saying they're not capable of losing because they are. The way they've
Oh,
been
no, of
playing,
course
they
they
are
are.
very capable of losing this game. But for them to be the 3-point favorite, absolutely.
Yeah, let's not treat them like the Panthers or somebody. Like they're
That's true. Okay.
they're still a tough team. Man.
The Philadelphia Eagles are 30th
Listen,
in defense.
and see if Baker
30.
Mayfield can just make a couple of passes to Mike Evans,
That's it.
a couple
That's it.
passes to Chris Godwin. I mean, that
Who
could
is
make a
Ray
difference.
Bradbury covering? Throw to that guy.
Now let me ask you a question: Is Slay even back yet?
I'm not sure.
Because if Slay's not back, Ringo gets burnt too. The rookie from Georgia, that boy get burnt.
And if you don't trust Baker Mayfield, here's the thing. Run the ball, because Philly's run defense is horrible. Don't. As the cards about, yeah, it's. I'm sorry, I gotta go with Tampa Bay on this one. It's literally trying to figure out which turd is gonna float highest in the toilet.
Hey, E.
Honestly,
Let Tristan and Steve make their picks real quick.
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm picking Philly. They're just a better team, and Tampa Bay is really bad, in my opinion. I don't see Baker beating them.
hell, Philly really bad.
They're both bad. Philly's going to win because Philly's. I'm going with the experience pedigree on this. I know
I'm not mad at you.
some Super Bowl residue on the Tampa Bay team. I know that, but I just can't logically say Tampa. It just won't shock me if Tampa won, but I cannot put down Tampa. So I'm going to go with Philly. It's not a convincing argument. Don't try to make me debate it because I'm not going to be able to.
No. I hear. Now remember, Philadelphia also has more injuries. Jalen Hurts. Yes, he's playing, but that finger, is questionable. Like I said, now he should play. AJ Brown's gonna play, but from what I understand, AJ Brown might not have that COD that he needs to be an effective wide receiver. So Tampa Bay's defense to me is slightly underrated. I'm not saying they're fantastic or anything. I think they're slightly underrated. That could be another thing too, because Philadelphia. Okay, so I might have Tampa Bay by 2. I got Tampa Bay by 2.
Yeah, I just think it's like Philly's defense. I'm not even talking about Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and all those guys. Philly's defense is such a sieve. It's a colander. And like even Baker Mayfield shouldn't be able to mess this up. And again, if Todd Bowles is smart, don't even ask Baker Mayfield to win the game for you. Run on them. Philly can be run on. All them doggone first rounders in that front seven. All those first rounders in that front seven, and they can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to running the ball. So, yeah, I got to go with Tampa. As bad as they are, I got to go with Tampa.
I got Tampa by 2. All right, so we made our picks for the playoffs, and we will find out this weekend who wins, and we will see what happens in New England with Bill Belichick.
And just FYI, I was 173 and 99. That was my record for the whole year on my picks.
For the panel pick, okay. All right, so next week We should be covering the divisional round and see if there's any more coaching firings, maybe even some hires by that point. You can follow us. Actually, excuse me, correction. We're live now on YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. 5 platforms. 4 platforms you can follow us on: IG, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. 3 platforms you can listen to us to: Google, Apple, Spotify podcasts. Coach Williams, Cowboys #2 seed. That direction, Trish TV. His team is starting from scratch. Steve, what's up, man?
What's going on?
That direction, E. The 49ers are the best team in the NFC, man.
Pack your defense and your running game.
Hey, guys, one more, also, ladies, young boys and girls, one more thing before y'all go. We had some more fun in the green room. Get us up to 500 subscribers so we can get a Patreon. I'm trying to tell you, get us 500 subscribers. We getting a Patreon, okay? That's all you need to know is right there what Eric put right there on the camera. That's all you need to know why we need to have a Patreon. Okay?
I'm a terrible person.
Oh, by the way, and let's get this in real quick. Eric, this is special for you, man.
Yeah, see, please don't talk about firings. That's a Saints fan. They want Dennis Allen.
Hey, don't worry, Dennis Allen, he almost out of there. Don't worry, hang on, Titus.
They want him.
Hey, hold on. John Gruden might save the day. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
As long as he don't send no emails.